Hello everyone, this is Indrajit Ganguly and welcome back to my channel Beyond History. Dear students, today we are talking about Theme 6, Bhakti and Sufi traditions, changes in religious beliefs and devotional texts around 8th to 18th century CE. In this module, you will understand how did the Bhakti and Sufi traditions make changes into the existing religious structure in the medieval India and recognized as the religious reformation movement. So students, let's have a look into the basic concepts of the Bhakti movement.
You can see that Bhakti movement was a revolution started by Hindu saints to bring a religious reformation by adopting the method of devotion to achieve salvation. So these can be the definition of Bhakti movement. It is a religious reformation movement and they adopted the method of devotion to achieve salvation. So when we are discussing about the features of Bhakti movement, we can say that first of all, these movement regionally developed around different gods and goddesses such as Lord Vishnu or Lord Shiva. Okay, so basically these movement focused around or developed around these two gods. Next, it preached using local languages. Obviously, you saw that basically the Brahmanical Hinduism focused mainly on the Sanskrit language, right? And they use Sanskrit languages for the pujas or yagnas, right? But Bhakti movement usually focused on the local languages, and they composed poetries, okay, singing, and these poetries and singing usually these usually used in the devotion of gods, and it usually used in the worship of gods like bhajan, kirtan, in that ways. Okay, and definitely the Bhakti sense, they usually used the local languages to attach large number of masses. So that is we call that I have told you, that is a religious reformation movement. It rejected the Sanskrit language and it rejected that kind of language because it could be used by the common people. Next, it rejected elaborate rituals and practices of Hinduism. Obviously, if you remember that Brahmanical Hinduism basically focused on yagnas, pujas. Okay, so Bhakti movement rejected these elaborate rituals and practices. They believe that whenever we just chanting the name of God or whenever we are devoted to God, no religious practices like pujas and yagnas are not required. Only passionate devotion to God, it's enough for the bhakti or for the devotion. Next, the main principles of Bhakti movement. You can saw that God is one. Remember students, I have once again heard that in Hindu religion or Hindu tradition there are 33 crores deities. You will be surprised to know that 33 crore. I am not saying that this is true, but there is some belief among the common people. There are 33 crores deities. Suppose when we are looking into our own house, basically 5 or 6 deities are there. Basically Ma Kali, Mahadev, Ganesh. Okay, Lord Krishna is there. 5 or 6 deities are there in our houses. So Bhakti movement rejected the concept of polytheism. What is the meaning of polytheism? Polytheism is the meaning of many god theory. And Bhaktism basically focused on the monotheism theory. That is, the God is one. The God can be anyone. The God can be Ram, God can be Allah, and God can be Jesus Christ. Okay, Almighty is one, but it has different types of names. Clear? Next one, all men are equal. Obviously, if you remember that from the chapter number 3 of history, that I have discussed with you about the 4 Varna orders, right? In the first order, that is Brahman, next Kshatriya, then Vaishya, then Shudra, right? So Bhakti movement usually criticized or they challenged these things. They said that no, all men are equal because all men or all people are the child of God. So there is no sort of discrimination. Next one, caste distinctions and religious practices are to be given up. Obviously, I have told you that there is no place of caste discrimination. Every man are equal and there is no barrier of caste. Next one, passionate devotion to God. I have told you that it is very important that it was, suppose when you are devoted to God, there is a no required that you are visited any temple or you are visited any pilgrimage place. Suppose if you are passionate to your devotion and you are chanting the name of your God or name of the God from your house, that is enough. No other religious practices, no other rituals is required for the devotion of the gods. So these are the basic principles of Bhakti movement and these are the features of the Bhakti movement. Remember students, in Bhakti's tradition, many poet saints emerged as leaders and they developed a community of devotees. Now the meaning of poet saints like Baba Guru Nanak, Kabir, Namdev, Tulsidas, Ramanuj, Mirabai, Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Dev, these are poet saints and these saints are emerged as a leaders. What type of leader? They are religious reformative leaders and they developed a community of devotees. Just like Baba Guru Nanak developed a community called Sikh, Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Dev developed a community called Vaishnav and many more. Okay, these traditions accommodate women and lower caste. Obviously, in the Brahmanical Hinduism, lower caste people and women did not have any accommodation because they are negligible and they have no place in the Brahmanical Hinduism. But in the Bhakti movement, basically they got an important place. So historians of religion, they classified the Bhakti tradition into two ways. First one is Shaguna Bhakti and second one is Nirguna Bhakti. Now the question is, what is the meaning of Shaguna Bhakti and Nirguna Bhakti? Remember students, Shaguna Bhakti focused on the worship of Shiva, Vishnu and his avatar and goddess. Clear? And Nirguna Bhakti basically focused on the idea of abstract form of God, or we can say formless God. Okay, and it can be said that Guru Nanak, okay, Kabir, Shri Chaitanya, these are abstract form of God. Remember students, Shaguna Bhakti and Nirguna Bhakti. The difference between Shaguna Bhakti and Nirguna Bhakti, very important for 3 marks question along with the objective type questions.